Every major energetic moment acts like a wave, but waves do not carry everyone in the same direction. Two people can experience the same portal date. One uses it as a catalyst for breakthrough, while the other one can use it as a fuel for drama. And honestly, the event is pretty much neutral, but it's really about us internally and what we're choosing, what frequency we're choosing to be on, what way we're choosing to be on, the cosmic way we choose to serve on.
Beloved heart, before we begin, I have a special gift for you. If you've been feeling the intensity of Earth's rising plasma light codes and want to stay centered in your body and heart and energy field, I've created a free light language quantum grounding activation just for you. This transmission will help you stabilize, integrate, and align with the new frequencies flowing onto the planet. Simply join my mailing list. See the link that's in the show notes to receive instant access. Let's ground into the light together.
This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, beloved. I'm Monica. Welcome back to another episode in my podcast, Ascended Earth. So, in this episode, I actually went back and forth trying to figure out what kind of topic or theme to talk about. We're in March 2026. Thankfully and grateful to have made it here. It's a lot going on in the world. The month of February was really interesting to me because, we had that great conjunction occur. Um, that was one of those rare astrological events on February 2026, and also it kicking off with the Fire Horse year as well. So I hope everyone is doing well. Well, there's just more energies, but the month of March just feels different to me. Not in the sense, where the months of January and February just felt kind of more stagnant. Whereas March, I feel is going to move a lot faster, but it's also going to be very much disclosure and revelations of all kinds that will definitely feel like the Twilight Zone. I mean, we're already feeling like the Twilight Zone, but it's just now becoming like the new normal. In the month of February, I noticed that the human resonance spikes, the white spikes in the chart themselves were an extreme, like um intense, higher energetic level that they were showing. And there was also like gaps in the chart itself, which is an indication of timeline shifts and timeline jumps. And so, speaking of that, I want to talk about the highest timeline, which for me, I haven't heard many other people talk about it. So, just going by my own intuitive information and download and perception as well, intuitive perception, pretty much, on the highest timeline, what no one really talks about, really. It's not often talked about, but what is that really? I mean, what is the highest timeline to you? Is it an escape from difficulty? Is it a perfected version of reality where nothing goes wrong? Is it a fixed destination we arrive at and never leave? No. So I'm going to give you a whole other perspective on my side on this. The highest timeline is not a fantasy dimension where shadow disappears. It is a mastery of state of consciousness within the current evolutionary shift. And so this is also based on my experience as well. So it's this intuitive perception as well as this experience that goes with it. And lately, I've been feeling this extreme split of the old Earth and new Earth. I mean, this has already been like occurring as a gradual, like it was moving like into this slow pace, but just I felt that, especially on the last day of February, it felt like it really accelerated. Like this is really it. We're gonna quantum jump into this month of March, into this whole new timeline, um, which can feel like the highest timeline, but which is what I'm about to share, what that really means. But the split really is feeling where we're splitting from this old Earth way of being into this new Earth frequency because everything really is about the frequency and the energy of things. Old Earth, operates on this fear-based control, scarcity loops, separation consciousness, and externalized power. And there's more of this patriarch, toxic, masculine energy as well. New Earth operates through the sovereignty of the co-creation, this unity awareness, and this internal authority. So it is the sacred, cosmic mother of creation as well that is emerging, along with the divine feminine energy. And I'm really feeling more of her presence. I was even getting this whole new invocation of this divine mother of creation. So I'll probably share that. I may share more through an email than anything for those who are in my email distro. Um, and so this is to me like when I was feeling it very intensely at the end of February, like I was feeling like this collective grief that was going like that was leaving the older. So there was this part of this heartbreak and this grief, but it was just like a very quantum, um, fast, pace moving of energy of this grief. So I just let it be and just, went through it. And the more that we just let go of that and just acknowledge that that is coming up, the faster that we can get through that and quantum jump into a whole new timeline. So for this whole new Earth and old Earth split, this isn't a dramatic sci-fi event where the planet suddenly cracks in half. It is like a more of this gradual divergence of consciousness, except that it's feeling like a much more quantum right now, much faster pulsating rate. Um, and some may experience this, through the discussions of the Schumann resonance that I've been sharing so much of the charts on social media, um, and talking more. Like I've turned it into like the Schumann resonance chronicles. So there's been a lot of this white spike areas in the chart that indicate an intense activity going on with the heartbeat of Earth itself, which means that Earth is completely in a whole new vibratory frequency right now. So many may interpret, these spikes as energetic surges or collective nervous system recalibrations. And honestly, it does really feel like that. So with that accompanies, certain like ascension symptoms as well, whether they're physical, emotional, or mental. Everything in our system is impacted because it is part of the integration that we're all going through this shift of consciousness. Because really that's what it is about the consciousness and the frequency, that goes with it. Electromagnetic energy is part of the frequency as well. So, but we must be clear here. These spikes are not, on the calendar of ascension, and they're not proof that a specific date equals a final shift either. And they do not define, your personal timeline. So, as you know, there's all sorts of timelines that are occurring at this time based on different choices, whether they're small or big, and so forth. So, major dates like the eclipses, the portals, the equinoxes, and even those times when you have these great conjunctions and transit celestial events, they act as these like concentrated momentum points. They're like cosmic amplifiers. That's what I call them, cosmic amplifiers. So your highest timeline is not dependent on a date. It is dependent on resonance. What is the highest timeline? The highest timeline is the version of reality you align when you choose growth over reaction. You choose sovereignty over blame. You choose conscious response over unconscious patterning, no longer operating from a victim mindset of an unconscious patterning itself, but actually reflecting on this and becoming aware that a lot of what is happening outside of us is really what is being reflected inside and recognizing those patterns within. So it cannot, necessarily be the easiest timeline, but I see it more like a coherent one. The highest timeline is the trajectory where soul evolution accelerates because you are no longer resisting what is being shown. It is the path where your lessons become integrated faster, your reactions soften into awareness, your challenges refine you instead of derail you. It doesn't mean that it is shadow free. It is more of a shadow mastery or shadow mastered. The myth. Once I'm on the highest timeline, it's all done. That's a myth. There is a misconception that reaching the highest timeline means no more problems, no more triggers, no more grief, no more collapse. This is not mastery. This is bypass. Even on your highest timeline, shadow appears. The difference is this. On a lower timeline, shadow controls you. On a highest timeline, you navigate it. So it's like you become more aware of what those shadows are that are coming up. And they're meant to be seen, they're meant to be integrated. And the more that this shadow is integrated, the more that the light is brighter as well. Beloved, if you're craving deeper connection, intuitive expansion, and consistent energetic support, join me inside the Frequency Resonance Lounge. This is a monthly Master Heart Circle, moon ceremonies that includes the full and new moon, and a private community for connections. Link is in the show notes. So you see it faster, you recover from it faster. So this is where I get into the quantum field, the energy field of things. I think we can move through this much faster when we really acknowledge and see it, that it is there. You extract wisdom much faster as well through the lessons learned through that. And not talking about the fluff, right? That um yeah, gratitude is great. Every day is gratitude. But, there's moments that the rage may come up, and that's okay to recognize that, it could be um, a holy type of rage. Um, and that's something that is like a fire or a passion of a new direction, of a change in your life, of also establishing justice and restoration. And not, to be like in a violent way, because violence doesn't always equate to peace either. But is recognizing these things in your life. It becomes, this material for alchemy rather than evidence of failure. Mastery is not the absence of shadow. It is the ability to walk through it with perception, agility, and inner stability. And it is a part of this perceptive, type shift that you can master yourself. So why does the split feel more intense now? The reason many feel the split intensifies because collective structures are destabilizing. Old Earth system built on distortion cannot sustain the frequency increase of consciousness expansion. When density rises to the surface, it can feel like a regression, but exposure is not regression. It's a revelation of also for healing. And revelation creates divergence. So some doubts, some double down on fear and some awaken deeper into this sovereignty. And this is like the split, what may feel like the split. So it's not really geographical, um, but it's more of this consciousness type shift that is occurring. It reminds me of these dreams that I had like many months ago, because I've been having like really vivid dreams just recently, but these are a few months ago that I'm remembering. I'm actually being reminded of this right now. That where in these dreams there is everybody's boarding this train. This train is about to leave, so it felt like this is the train that's moving into this new earth, into this quantum shift. So that's really what it felt like in those dreams. So it's really about the choice of our consciousness, where in what direction we decide we want to go, based on our stories, based on our belief system, based on the parts that we recognize that we want to heal or let go of. For those who don't want to let go of that, that's their business, really. And it's not really up to us to really fix anyone else who doesn't want to be fixed or chooses to be in the stories and beliefs that they want to be on. Quantum shifts and momentum points. Every major energetic moment acts like a wave, but waves do not carry everyone the same direction. Two people can experience the same portal date. One uses it as a catalyst for breakthrough, while the other one can use it as a fuel for drama, staying in the victim mindset. And honestly, the event is pretty much neutral, but it's really about us internally and what we're choosing, what frequency we're choosing to be on, what way we're choosing to be on, the cosmic way we choose to surf on. If you're a surfer, that's really where the cosmic wave of energy is coming in. Or you can look at it from the fire horse standpoint. You want to ride your fire horse in the cosmic wave energy of your own choosing. Resonance determines outcome, and this is why the highest timeline cannot be assigned to a specific date. It is a chosen moment by moment. What the highest timeline feels like, it feels like this increased clarity of chaos, a sense of inner anchoring, even when circumstances shake, quicker pattern recognition, reduced emotional lag time, and deep discernment and seeing the shadow very clearly in that moment and knowing and sensing what is triggering, what is bothering you right now, which is really a triggering, which is really an activation that is occurring internally. And that activation could be a healing moment of release. And this could be, for your own releasing in a way. Um, so that's really what that feels like. And this can also include grief, which comes with certain heartbreaks. Because when you move into this higher coherence, parts of you dissolve, like parts of you that identify to certain aspects and certain beliefs and certain stories, certain ways of doing things before. Old identities fade, old copying strategies fall away, the old coping, strategies fall away, old relationships may shift. Friendships, romance, family, you name it, all of that begins to change and shift. And it can be heartbreaking. And I've been there. But there is also this emergence, this rebirth as well, because through that heartbreak, there is that breakthrough, there is that freedom, there is that release and that healing as well. This is why it feels like both collapse and miracle at the same time. The highest timeline is a state of coherence. When your thoughts, choices, and actions align with your deeper knowing wisdom, you enter into this coherence of your own soul wisdom, your own soul akashic records, your soul alignment to your own soul contracts as well. Coherence accelerates manifestation, coherence stabilizes perception, and coherence amplifies clarity. Incoherence creates distortion and at times can ignore and bypass what is being triggered and what grief is coming up, what anger, what sadness and may be coming up. The shadow aspects of things are not meant to be ignored, but to be seen, to be integrated, because it is all part of this whole reintegration process that we're going through right now. So the highest timeline is not about thinking positive, always being in the blissness or anything like that. It's about being internally congruent. Three keys to three keys to align with the highest timeline. Number one, a radical self-responsibility. On the highest timeline, you stop outsourcing your power. It's not about blaming the energy, the collective, the retrograde, the chart spikes, or someone else for your situation, but it's about asking, what is this showing me about my current frequency, and where can I end this habitual pattern, this subconscious pattern? Where is it stemming from? Asking a much deeper question within. Self-responsibility, which can also be like accountability, does not mean that it's self-blaming either, or criticizing self or beating someone else, beating yourself up for anything. It means that you have the choice, that I am the chooser of my destiny, of my direction in life, my timeline. This single shift collapses victim loops instantly. Number two, the shadow navigation, not shadow avoidance. When something triggers you, instead of asking, what is happening to me? Ask yourself, what part of me is ready to mature and grow and evolve from this? On a lower timeline, this trigger creates, spirals, whereas in the highest timeline, it could create insight, understanding, compassion. The shadow becomes a doorway, not a dungeon. A dungeon. Agility increases because you stop resisting the lesson. And the last one, a frequency discipline. The highest timeline requires energetic discernment. This means choosing what you consume, choosing conversations wisely, choosing environments consciously, choosing thoughts deliberately, not in suppression, but in alignment to what is in alignment to you, what programs, call to you in that moment, or what other channels call to you as well. You cannot anchor a coherent timeline while continuously immersing in incoherence. Frequency discipline is not restriction, it's really about refinement. The highest timeline is not a singular thing, it's a dynamic thing because we are multidimensional. So there's different dimensional aspects of ourselves as well, having different experiences in these other dimensions. And as you evolve, your highest recalibrates. You do not arrive, you ascend through the layers. Each layer requires new levels of discernment, compassion, and stability. So, in the final integration, the split between the earth and the earth is real, but it is happening inside consciousness first. White spikes on the charts and the Schumann resonance, the portal days, the celestial alignments, these are more like these cosmic amplifiers. But the true shift is internal. The highest timeline is not a cosmic lottery. It's a moment of moment choice toward coherence, responsibility, and mastery. And mastery still includes the shadow. It simply means you're no longer afraid of it. You can see it, you can navigate it, and you can transmute it and be the alchemist of it. With agility, with flow, with perception shifts that turn obstacles into initiation. So, this is the highest timeline. It's not about perfection. Um, it's about power awareness. It is available to you now. So I hope this was very useful to you, and I will catch you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.